Hello, and welcome to the game room. Bet you didn't even know I had one of those. And it's not going to be the game room for very much longer because this is the first video in a series of videos where I am going to convert this game room into a YouTube studio. So there'll be quite a few videos along the way. And by the way, how long this project takes is partly up to y'all. Because in order to write off on my taxes the cost of a lot of this, and I have some expensive stuff planned for in here, I need to get monetized, which means I need at least 1,000 subscribers. And I'm like more than halfway there, but get your friends to subscribe. Get me to 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized, and then I can start writing off the cost of all this equipment I'm going to buy for in here. Well, let me show you what's in here. So the reason it's called the game room is because when I bought the house, there was a pool table sitting in this room. I happen to know how hard it is to move a pool table because my brother bought one years and years ago, and I helped him move it into his house. And it is a big deal. So this pool table's just been sitting here. I don't really play pool, so it's just kind of been wasting away up here. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is get this out of here, and that's already taken care of. In a week or so, a crew is coming in to haul this away and take it to its new home at a friend of mine's house, and it'll live happily ever after because he's a pool player, his father is a pool player, and his grandfather is a pool player. In fact, all three of them came over to look at the table before we closed the deal. So the pool table is going to a great home. It'll get a lot of use. It's been sitting up here doing nothing for 8 years. It's a nice table. But I had this room that was really useless because of this. So, and here, let me show you around the room using my new U190 tilt and pan head for my Ulanzi Zero F38. That video will be down below. If you recall from that video, they didn't send me the tilt and pan head by mistake, but I sent an email to customer service and they shipped one right out. So thank you, Ulanzi. Let me use the tilt and pan head to give you a little tour of the room. So since I had this room, I thought, well, one thing I can do is use it to store all of my CDs, DVDs, SACDs, Blu-rays, etc., which you can see over here on the wall. Of course, that's all going to have to move. Yes, at the far end over here of the rack is a halberd, and sitting right under it, look, I can tilt down, is a claymore. My brother likes to give me weird gifts for Christmas, and that's one of the things. Those are a couple of Christmas gifts over the years. If you can see the vulture up sitting at on the top shelf, that was another one of his gifts. The other thing that happened when I moved in here is I had this 65-inch Sony 4K TV, 3D TV. In the old house, it was perfect in my living room, but in this new house, it was well too small because the living room was much wider. So I bought a new TV for downstairs, and then I moved this one up here with the stand. That's one of those Z-Line design stands. And there's a PS3 up here and a PS4. And if you look there in the chair, you can see my PSVR, which I also played up here. And over there behind the chair, you will see all my rock band musical instruments, guitars and drums, etc., because my friend Brian and I were big fans of Rock Band, and so I still have those will be being put away because we haven't played that in years. And then, of course, I have a futon back over in the corner, way back over there. That's for, an extra guest room. It folds down into a bed. And that's kind of what's up here. But let's talk about what's going to be up here. Oh, and all the posters up here that are falling down because they're on a slanting ceiling. These same posters were at my old house. I also had a slanting ceiling in my office in that house, and so I just brought all these posters over. And of course, it's been 8 years. They're starting to fall down. I will be fixing all that. I'll be moving a lot of this stuff out. I'll be rearranging these. But then what's coming is I am going to, for where the pool table is, or roughly where the pool table is currently, I will be getting one of those electric sit-stand desks that go up and down, which are a little pricey, which is again why I need the subscribers so I can get monetized so I can write that off. I'm also going to install soundproofing all along this wall, which will be the wall behind me when I'm shooting videos. This stuff will obviously move around. Some of it will move back over there behind the futon. I'll be rearranging this. But the sit-stand desk, soundproofing. I'm also going to do some soundproofing on the ceiling. And by the way, I'm going to use different kinds of soundproofing on the ceiling and on the wall, so that'll be a couple of videos about how to soundproof a studio. For that window back there, I will be getting a sound dampening blackout curtain, so that end of the room will have some soundproofing on it. I have a lot of big plans. I'm also going to get some real lights instead of the little cheap, crappy LED lights that I've been using, and most of you have probably noticed that my lighting isn't that great. Not that great right now. But I will be getting like the cool lighting like you see in all of Gerald Undone and Matty Haposia and all those guys. I'll be getting those kind of lights. But again, I can only afford those if I can write them off, which means I need to get monetized. So please, please, if you're not a subscriber, please click subscribe and beg your friends to come subscribe so I can get to 1,000, so I can start making a little money, which I can then pour back into this studio. So this is probably going to take months, depending on when I get to the subscriber count. So it may be the summer or later before I really get into the meat of this. But I just wanted to set up, this is the before. And I will save some of these video clips and put them in. Again, the table's going away very shortly. I'll start rearranging. That's not going to be worth a video. It's not going to really be worth a video until I start putting the soundproofing up. And it's going to be pretty, and I've got some wall treatments planned. For the halberd and the claymore, I'm going to mount those up on the wall somewhere in the background. And I'm going to get those cool shelves that they sell at IKEA that look like they're just floating on the wall, where they go into, and then so it looks like floating shelves. I'll have some of those with stuff on it. So I have a lot of plans for this room. And by the way, you all can thank my friend Brian, who's been in some of my videos, because he's the one that got me thinking about this, because he said, I'm getting tired of looking at your dining room. And I have to admit, I'm kind of tired of looking at my dining room. All those unboxing videos in the dining room, it's not really ideal. But if I had a cool sit-stand desk, I can do unboxings up here. I can put in my overhead camera, and get it all out of my dining room, which will make my cleaning lady very happy, and any friends that come over. So it's going to be a really cool thing, I hope. And like I said, there's going to be several videos along the way, and they may be a few months apart because, again, it depends on my subscriber count and how much money I start making as to how fast I'll be able to buy all the stuff I want for up here. So that's the introduction to my building a studio project. So building the YouTube studio is my long-term project for the year. There will be videos along the way. Come along for the ride. If you're thinking about building a studio, you can maybe get some ideas. You can share your ideas in the comments on things you think I ought to do. And we'll build a studio in my former game room. It will become the studio. So come along with me for this ride. Come back for the ensuing segments. Again, they'll be spread over the next many months. But by the time we're done, I'm hoping to have a really cool YouTube studio up here in my studio room instead of my game room. So thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.